Hello everybody, today we are going to be making a webcam with the Raspberry Pi Zero. Let's get started. To begin, you're going to want to go to the Raspberry Pi download page and download Raspberry and Jessie Lite by clicking the download zip button. Once it's done downloading, you're going to want to extract it and flash it to your SD card using 132 disk imager. Once that's done, you're going to want to create a file called wpasupplicant.conf. This is going to be your config file for your Wi-Fi. For your SSID, you're going to want to change that to your Wi-Fi network name. In my case, mine is Blue Chair. You're also going to want to change password if you have a password. Once that's done, save the file. You're also going to want to create a SSH file just called ssh.txt. This will turn the SSH on for your Raspberry Pi. That's all you need to do at this step. Now plug it all in and do a network scan. I'm using Fing on my Android device. You should see a device pop up called Raspberry Pi. Under it, you'll see the IP address of the Raspberry Pi, and if you click it and select Scan Services, you'll see that it has SSH enabled. Now using the IP address, we're going to use PuTTY to connect to it via SSH. The username is Pi, and the password is Raspberry. The first thing you're going to want to do is do an update. Then do a distribution upgrade. Now once it's done, you're going to want to try to install the script, which can be found on my website. If it does not install, you're going to need it to install JIT. This is simple, just sudo apt-get install JIT. Now once that finishes, you can try to install the script again. Once again, it can be found on my website, totally free for download. It's going to pop up and ask you for your preferences for the settings. When it does, you can change the subfolder to whatever you want. I am my camera. You're probably going to want to enable auto start and use Apache and the web port to be 80. I also made the JPG link accessible. Once that's done, push tab and select OK. We're not going to auto start now, so it's going to pop up with this message. What we're going to do is we're going to run Raspberry config and turn on our camera if you haven't already. Now when we click finish, it'll ask us to reboot and we can say yes. The software part is all finished. Alright, so now we're going to test it. Go to the IP address of your Raspberry Pi and you'll be displayed with this webpage. select camera or whatever else you set it as, and you'll see that the camera is really blurry right now. This is because it needs focused. So we're going to unscrew the lens until we see that it goes into focus. Now go a little bit past and then backtrack back onto the really perfect setting that you have it as until you think it's as clear as it's going to get. It should be clear no matter how close or how far you get. Alright, so once that's done, we're going to actually build it now. There's going to be your first pin on the Raspberry Pi and the third pin on the top row that you're going to solder your power wires to. The first pin is 5 volts and the third pin is ground. In my waterproof box, I drilled a hole so I can put a waterproof DC plug in. Now we're going to solder the DC plug in. Remember to first put the nut on the wires. Then feed the wires through the waterproof housing. Once this is done, we're going to solder the ground to the longer lead of the DC jack. And then the 5 volt lead to the shorter lead of the jack. Make sure there's a really good connection in between, because you don't want anything shorting out. Once this is done, feed the jack back into the housing, and then screw on the nut to hold it in place. Now I'm using a USB DC cord. You can use whatever, as long as it's 5 volts. You should see the light up. Now that we know it works, we're going to make sure that everything is tight as can be, and we're going to glue everything into place. The Raspberry Pi fits perfectly into the side of the case, so we're going to place it there, and being very careful, hot glue the top into place without getting any hot glue into the connectors. Now we're going to arrange the wires into the side so we can get the camera into place. I just pushed them up against the side of the case. Then we're going to test fit the camera. It's a good idea doing this before actually gluing it into place. Once you have your plan, use some standoffs and glue them onto the back of the camera. Then glue the standoffs into the housing. Do a test fit, then take the cap off the camera if you haven't already. Now that you know everything fits in place, clean everything well before actually putting it together. Once you feel it's clean, place together and then screw everything together. Now it's done, and it looks awesome. You can use a battery pack with it, and it will last about 2 days. I got my camera from GearBest. The link is in the description if you would like to get it. I highly recommend this camera. As you can see with the pictures, it fits together nice and well, and it's easy to use. It's compatible. It's 5 megapixel, and it is infrared compatible. It's automatic switching between infrared and daylight, so you don't have to just use it for night or day by taking out the IR filter. In this case, it automatically switches. If you have any more questions, you can go to fungipro.com and select projects, and I have a written tutorial there. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and maybe possibly subscribe if you feel like I deserved it. Also, if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will try to get back to you.